Hello everyone, welcome back to the Shonky Lab. Yes, we are still live and kicking. I'm Elton, and this week I'm joined by my good friend and guest producer, Mr. Andy Palastides.
Hello there.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm only here because you didn't let me out after we finished recording the last podcast we did.
We've got to stop meeting like this.
We do. People are going to start to talk.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know.
I mean, the only reason we actually podcast together is because people are convinced we're the same person.
It could be like the Tyler Durden thing, couldn't it?
But whose imagination? That's kind of a scary...
Well,
conundrum.
clearly, I think you're my imagination and vice versa.
It's true. I think more people have actually seen me, though.
Possibly.
Or maybe you just wished really hard and wished me into actual existence. Like when you can't go to these things and I just show up there.
Weird.
We're getting a bit existential out of the gate here, aren't we?
You're already blowing my mind. Already. Yeah. Right, so this episode, I am being totally lazy. I have lots of topics in the bag ready to go. But
yes, we're not going to use any of them.
No, we're not going to use any of them. We are doing a topic-less show. We're just going to ramble.
Wait. Topicless. I thought you said topless.
Topic.
Oh,
Topic.
this is awkward. Hang on, let me get a shirt.
Yes. Sorry, I haven't got the webcam on. It's all right. We're all good.
Okay.
So, yeah, topic-less. I've got something to show you. Good job the webcam's not on again.
I was going to say, are you sure? This is taking a dark turn all of a sudden.
No, don't worry. It gets darker.
Okay then.
This is going to be cringy, what I've got to show you, misses.
Euphemism?
Yeah, no. God, no. No, well, okay. Let's try and grab this thing and pull it back on track, yeah?
Again, not helping.
Right, so I'm being totally lazy. We are just going to be doing a ramble cast.
Yes.
So I don't know when to start the timer or anything like that. I'll have to work out exact
Have we started rambling?
Well, it's going to happen soon. I get the feeling it's going to happen soon.
I'll tell you what. So you got this thing to show me. Why don't you do that and then you can start the timer?
No, but that'll be part of the timer. Now we're rambling about the timer.
We are. Maybe we should do this episode about timers. Do you have a favourite timer? I'm a big fan of sundials.
Favourite timer? Okay, there is a clock in Bury St Edmunds, right? And it's one of these clocks where you have the four faces. It's on a multi-storey car park, but it's like the Big Ben. Imagine Big Ben, but with a massive multi-storey car park built around it, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm picturing it.
And the clock faces are huge. They're at least 7 foot wide. Now I've been in the room behind the insides of the clock.
Okay.
And you can see what operates the clock. And let me tell you, the faces are controlled by nothing bigger than what you'd find on a kitchen clock. It's really, really soul destroying.
Wow. All these grand illusions are destroyed before your eyes.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. There's a tiny little wire linking them all together as well. It's really disappointing. So
I have been up Big Ben.
The egg timer as well. There you go.
Oh, egg timers are cool, yeah. Mostly because there's the promise of egg at the end of it.
Yeah. My gran had a egg timer. It wasn't one of these granular sand egg timers. It was a timer in the shape of an egg.
Wow.
Yeah, and you turn the top to set the time. Now that
this does sound like this feels like a discussion I'd probably enjoy a lot more if I was stoned.
It's getting that way already, isn't it? It really is getting that way.
It's a timer. It's the shape of an egg. Whoa.
It's getting very Jim Morrison already, isn't it?
It has a bit, yeah. Let's hope it doesn't end as badly as that.
We're going to wait for an Indian to walk through the sands and talk to us later on. Oh, no. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to have a little ramble. That's probably like a precursor to the ramble. We haven't got any idea what we have little topics we want to hit or subjects which we want to hit, but I think in the next episode we have a full-blown topic anyway, so we're going to be hitting that. So shall I set the timer, or shall I just try and set the timer?
Let's do the timer thingy, and let's Let's get this train wreck back on the rails.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I reckon. Okay, right. No, I don't want to turn the snooze on. Save. Right, there we go. We are off.
Huzzah!
So we got around about 45 minutes ish.
And there's people in the Mixler too.
Are
Hello. Yes, there's two.
Oh, excellent.
Hello, Simon and Ryan. I can see you, Kirk. Can you see me?
Excellent. Yes, for anyone else joining us who hasn't ever listened to this podcast, what you need to do, this is normally broadcast live. I think the last one wasn't broadcast live because we had problems with the Mixler or the computer that runs the Mixler. So we bailed on that and just had the gun control and gun culture episode with Melissa and Sean. So this time out, we are back live. And if you want to join in next time, it's at mixler.com/RogueTwoMedia. And then you can join in on the chat and listen in and put your thoughts across because there is a little chat room there. So, yeah, so anyone has their favourite egg timer or timers in general, please put them in the chat and we'll try to read them out or endeavour to read them out anyway. So where do you want to start on this one then?
Oh, well, I after you, sir. You've been promising me this thing which is going to, and I quote, fuck me up.
Okay, right. Okay. I was on the interweb and other such places, right? And there's this YouTube video that I happened across. Now, I only happened across it because I was listening to a podcast and it was mentioned and it was dropped in conversation there and it was, you should listen to this. It's kind of weird now in hindsight. And right, it's Rolf Harris.
I'm going to stop you there.
Now, he is singing a song. It's him singing a song because this gets creepier.
Oh, wow, it gets creepy from Rolf Harris. Okay.
No, trust me.
Is it a duet with Jimmy Savile?
Oh, bloody hell, man! That there has to be something like that on the internet somewhere, surely.
Well, I'm not going to search for it.
No, don't search for it. But he is singing the very famous song. I can't remember who actually sung it previously, but he's covering a song called "I Touch Myself." Hello? I can hear you cringing already.
Little bit.
Right. So I'm going to play this to you, and I hope you enjoy this. So hang on a second. Right. Let me know if you can hear this.
When will you start playing, Elton?
I love myself. I want you to love me.
How creepy is that?
When I feel down.
Can we stop now?
No. It gets better.
No, better isn't the right word.
To find me. I forget myself.
Right, I'll just drop that into the background a little bit. If you listen to this in hindsight of what's happened, yeah, proper creepy, I think.
I don't even think you need to listen to it in hindsight. I mean, that's just wrong.
It is. Right, we're coming up to a good bit. Hang on a second. This is actual Rolf Harris. Right, here we go.
The one who makes me come. Running. Oh, sorry.
Right. Creepy as, yeah?
Promise me you'll never do that again.
Oh,
ever.
I'm just about to do it again. Now, if you go into the settings on YouTube and go to the playback speed and go half speed, this is what you get. Hang on.
I love myself. I want you to love me when I feel down.
How messed up is that?
On a scale to 1 to Rolf Harris, I mean, That's a full wobble board.
It is, isn't it?
I have questions, none of which I want answers for. Many questions. Again, why do you feel you need to inflict this on others as well? Just because you were suffering, and
I find this interesting. I don't know why. It's something that I'm just going through the comments. They're all telling me to do.
Do you know why? It's because some men like to watch the world burn.
They certainly do. Yeah. Hang on, we're going to go back to him.
No, let's not.
Oh, you imagine locked up in a room with him. Fuck that. Right, anyway, right, I'm gonna stop that now. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Sweet dreams.
I'll be honest, wasn't what I was expecting. Far worse. So that was yes. That's seared into my brain now. Thank you.
Yeah. So when you're just drifting off tonight, you're gonna hear half speed Rolf Harris now. Just searing into your brain.
You know, I think just for that, I'm going to make the lead of a Serbian film on Black Dog to make you watch it.
Yeah, I've heard things about that.
Yeah. They don't make potatoes big enough, mate.
No, okay, fair enough. Yeah, so you're welcome. So, we had two of the brightest stars in UK die today, didn't we?
Well, one I would agree with.
Jim Bowen.
You are a bad man, Elton. A very bad man.
Oh, but did you not watch Bullseye as a kid?
It was one of those things where I'd always switch over because there was something after it I wanted to watch, so I'd always catch the tail end of it.
Yeah.
I can never remember what it was. I remember there always seemed to be a boat to win, and the person winning it was always in somewhere like Sheffield. So it was like, well, that's not much good to him, then, is it?
That's right, yeah. It was either a caravan or a really crappy car. No, it was never really a car. It's something to be towed by a car, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But they never actually gave you the sodding car.
No, or the tow bar to go along with it. So these poverty-stricken people won something on Bullseye by a famous dart expert, and then ended up having to take home a caravan and a speedboat or a grandfather clock.
I don't think did they ever have a grandfather clock on Bullseye? It doesn't strike me as the target demographic would have grandfather clocks.
Oh, they must have. I reckon they must have sat around their little room and thought, okay, well, what can we make these poor people take home with them? And it'll be, okay, speedboat. And someone must have just said, yeah, speedboat. Look, we got 4 or 5 outside anyway, so we're going to need to shift these at some point. So it's gone to speedboats.
I heard in the US, whenever they would do a thing with a prize, a car or something like that. So, you've won Wheel of Fortune or something, you've won a brand new car. You'd have to pay the tax on the car before they'd let you take it, though.
Ah, okay.
Like, before they let you. So, you've won this fancy car, and they turn up to you and say, okay, now you've got to pay us however many $1,000 for taxes on it before you can take it with you.
Oh, okay, right. So, if they didn't take it with them, would they get any cash money for that, or is it just goes over to the next week?
I think it just goes over to the next week. I don't know.
Wow. So you've won the speedboat that someone else won last week.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good day, sir.
Do they still do these touch the car to win it competitions, or didn't they ban them?
I don't really know. I kind of stopped watching television around 2012.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that was a purely American thing, wasn't it?
I think so.
Is it touch car? Yeah, should we be typing in touch car after Rolf Harris? I don't know. Touch car comp. I'm
looking here. I'm just on the Wikipedia page for Bullseye because, of course, I am.
Yeah.
And it goes here. You had a Bully's prize board with a red-green colour scheme, and you often interrupted the game after non-winning throw to state the team had won a booby prize, such as a bag of crisps or a trip on the Titanic. My question there is, if you've won that, does that mean they're going to pay to take you down in a submersible to the Titanic? Because that sounds pretty cool. I mean, they pay thousands of dollars to do that. I mean, Jim Cameron, spent near enough a decade down there. So
yeah, exactly.
That actually sounds much better than the actual speedboat. I mean, I'm claustrophobic, so fuck, I'd ever do it. But that just sounds like a much better prize than a speedboat or a caravan.
What other prizes did they get? Okay, packets of crisps, a trip on the Titanic. What? Anything else?
I mean, it just says those were the booby prizes. It doesn't say. I mean, but I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not your resident bullseye expert.
Right. Oh, okay. Top 10 strangest endurance contests. You ready?
Okay.
I'm ready. Shall I start at 1 or shall I start at 10? Hang on a second.
You always start at 10.
Hang on. Okay.
That's how a countdown works.
I know. Right, okay.
Down.
In at number 10, shin kicking championships. The rules are simple. Kick your opponent in the shins until he collapses.
That sounds reasonable enough.
There are YouTube videos, and I'm sure you can find them around London as well if you just go out on a Friday night.
Yes.
Number 9, eating 76 foot of stinging nettles.
How many feet of stinging nettles?
76 feet of stinging nettles. The stinging nettles that's just saying it. In 1997, it became a competition where contestants had 1 hour to eat as many nettles as they could, only taking a swig of water or beer. The world record is 76 feet.
Oh, there we go. Now you know. And as we know, knowing is half the battle.
Here we go. Standing on one leg for 7.5 hours to win a BMW.
Okay.
These are the records, by the way.
Are you sure that's not the booby prize again?
Well, I think this is in China. And, we know how Takeshi Castle... what the hell was that word that came out of my mouth then? Takeshi's Castle.
Yes.
Goes, yeah. You have a World Sauna Championships at number 7.
And is that just have to spend your time in the sauna?
Yes.
You're gonna come out like a bloody prune or something, aren't you?
I think I spoke about this, and one of them died. Pretty much cooked himself in there. Hang on. The world record.
Steamed himself, perhaps.
Yeah, the world record for this competition was set by a guy called Timo Kakkonen, who stayed in for 16 minutes and 15 seconds.
Any relation to Mika?
Probably not.
Okay.
Not. In 2010, the finalist died from heat and another contestant was critically injured. It was the last time the event was ever held.
Oh, well. Seems a bit me ruining everyone else's fun just because some sap couldn't take the heat.
That's right, yeah. Going from the World Sauna Championships in at number 6. Standing in ice for 2 hours.
You are going to lose. I'm assuming that's barefoot, because if it's just in shoes, then who gives a fuck? But
no, okay, right. Imagine, when David Blaine did his little thing in the box above the River Thames?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but full of ice and a person in the middle of it.
But again, are they wearing thermal gear?
They look naked.
Okay, then that's pointless and stupid, but slightly more impressive than if you're doing it wearing, some Arctic exploring, from the Ranulph Fiennes collection.
Yeah. Long kissing contest is in at number 5.
Okay.
How long do you reckon the world record for this is?
72 hours.
Oh, well, there you go. You would have won. 58 hours and 35 minutes.
I wouldn't do it for that long. That's my guess for how long it was.
Now, is that actually kissing, or is it just two people with their lips touching?
I don't know. There must be some sort of criteria to judge that.
Yeah. Oh, music started again.
Yeah, go.
Go.
We've got around once.
In at number 4, dance marathon.
Dance marathon. Any particular style of dancing?
During the Great Depression of the 1930s, dance marathons were extremely popular in the United States, and as people needed the money. So, and they obviously had a lot of free time. Now, what do you reckon the world record is for this?
72 hours.
You're way off. You're way off.
Over or under?
Oh, way over.
Okay. 4.5 minutes. Somewhere in between?
5,152 hours.
Oh, okay. That 5,000 hours?
That's what it says. It says it on the internet, so it must be true.
Of course. I'm just wondering how many is 5,000 hours in days. 208 days.
Hang on. They slow danced from August 29th, 1930 to April the 1st, 1931.
That's one way to kill some time, I suppose.
Wow. And they took home £2,000 for it.
I'm assuming there was toilet breaks included there.
I'd imagine so, yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine so. In at number 3, touching a truck. Okay, what is the world record for touching a truck?
I don't know, but if you do it inappropriately in some of the southern states, I believe you get 10 to 20 years.
Okay, well, on here it says 77 hours. There is...
I should have gone with 72 hours. I'd have been close.
You would have been close. In 2005, one contestant, Richard Vega, dropped out after 48 hours and then walked across the street, stole a gun, and killed himself.
Huh.
Wow. This is clearly the dark episode, isn't it?
It's going that way, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. In at number 2, don't worry about the music anymore.
I can't be bothered.
Yeah. In at number 2, living in a truck. Now, this is a trash-filled truck. And what is the reason for this?
Is this actually a competition, or do they just find some poor homeless bloke who's living in an old car?
No, Ford, live it to win it. That was their slogan. That was their actual slogan. Live it to win it. Okay, this guy spent 23 days in a trash-filled car. A Ford Ranger.
Okay. Any particular reason why it was trash-filled?
Well, it was probably clean when he got in it, and he wasn't allowed out of it, so he probably just left.
It's got windows. It's got doors.
Yeah, but then you get done for littering.
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? See how long you can live in this car. By the way, you're not allowed to throw your excrement out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I want the car afterwards.
No. In at number 1, ferret legging. The world record for ferret legging is... Hang on. The longest time is 5 hours, 30 minutes. And lo and behold, there's another YouTube video of that.
And is the holder of this record Compo from last summer one?
Oh, he had it down there for years, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I never got. It was. I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no frame of reference here.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, and speaking of things that I don't understand,
yeah,
black holes.
Black holes.
The guy who was big on black holes has died.
The guy that made a black hole.
He didn't make a black hole.
The guy who invented black holes.
Again, I don't think he invented them.
Okay, who are we talking about here then?
Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
Professor Stephen Hawking.
Mm-hmm.
He has shuffled off his mortal coil. If he wasn't nailed to the chair, he'd be pushing up the daisies.
Yep.
He is going to join the choir invisible. He has ceased to be. He is an ex-professor.
Exactly.
Yes. Which is entirely apt because he actually was on the Monty Python live show. So
was he?
I think he was, yes.
What, the recent one?
Yeah, he did a little sketch with the lead keyboard singer from DV.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that where I saw something earlier on today where he ran him over.
Yes, it was that. And then
okay.
sings the Galaxy song.
Ah, okay. So, okay, Stephen Hawking, have you read his book?
I have
books.
No.
No, because I know there's a brief history of time and there's a briefer history of time as well.
Yes. And I think there was also, was it a history of everything? Was that something he had written? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's very sad because he's one of those, it's kind of like Bowie in so much, it's something that was always there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a consistent across my entire life, was a really smart guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And now he is gone, and that is sad.
Well, yeah. People have said that the average IQ of UK just plummeted.
Well, never mind the UK. Well, that was plummeting before, but never mind the UK. The world.
Yeah.
I dare say the world itself is less now that he has gone. And I think, aside from, the contribution from science, just the fact that, he was given 2 years to live in, I think, 1963.
Right.
They said, you won't live more than 2 years. And so he promptly went, gave a middle finger to the doctors and went on to live for another half century.
Good stuff.
Well played, that man.
Oh, yeah. There's one way of dropping a mic on someone, isn't there?
Oh, so much so.
Yeah.
I heard the most appalling dad joke about it, though. Would you like me to share it with you?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't think this can get any worse on this episode.
Okay. And apologies, but I think Stephen would probably like the joke. It was, are we sure he's dead? And the batteries haven't just run out on the chair.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'd take that in the humour that it's meant.
Well, he had a wicked sense of humour. We know that. As well as, like I said, being on Monty Python. He was in tons of he was in The Simpsons. He was in Futurama.
Yep.
And, you'd think, he could just, or they could just, get the audio file from his chair and do his own words. But no, he came in and he recorded his lines himself for both of those things.
Yeah.
He was on an episode of Star Trek. You wouldn't have seen it, but it was good.
Really?
He beat Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton at a game of cards.
What, in Star Trek?
Yes.
Was this on a holodeck episode?
It was a holodeck episode,
right,
yes.
Okay. They're the worst.
They typically are the worst, but Stephen Hawking was in it, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Your argument is invalid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember watching an episode with Picard dressed up in like a Tommy Boy suit, like a white suit, I think it was. He had a Tommy gun. I don't know.
That was a film, but yeah.
Oh, was that a film?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That wasn't Star Trek.
No, it was a Star Trek film.
Oh, it's a Star Trek film?
Yes. There's been a few of them. That was First Contact.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. That's terrible.
No, it's not.
It is.
That's not.
Let's not get into a Star Trek flame war, please.
Well, it wouldn't be a flame war. You'd be destroyed, but yeah.
So, Stephen Hawking then, yeah? He's one of them guys that has always been around for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think, he first came to prominence, at least in terms of, I was aware of his existence around the late 80s. So, I was still quite young, but I think that was about the time he published A Brief History of Time.
Mm.
And, everyone, started raving about it. And it was just, it was the fashionable thing to read, wasn't it? You read this book and pretend that you're smart.
Mm.
Yes, 1988 he wrote that. So I think that's kind of when he kind of came to general prominence. But yeah, he's written, quite a few books there, looking at it, including an autobiography, My Brief History.
Right.
I can't help but feel that a lot of these are not as brief as they implied.
No, I remember picking up The Brief History of Time, and then I was going to buy it for a holiday. And I thought, no, that's a bit too serious for holiday. But that was about 6 years ago.
I've heard it's very good. Like, it's not dry. It's a very good book. We should probably do a book club thing about it at some point. Make everyone read it.
Yeah. I think there's drawings in it as well, which helps.
Helps. Yeah, I was going to say. Well, that came about because when he used to give his lectures, because he couldn't talk quickly, he used visual guides to help explain things, making it much more accessible to people. So it kind of revolutionized how science was explained.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film? What was it called? A History of A Theory of Everything. There.
Yeah, it was recent, wasn't it? It was last year or the year before.
2014 with Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. No,
it's really good. It's just a very good film. Well worth checking out.
Okay, I might do that then.
Yeah, it's a really good soundtrack, and unfortunately, the composer who did that passed away a couple of weeks ago as well. So,
wow, we're just 2018 is really kicking our balls again, isn't it?
Oh, please, it's nothing on 2016. I mean, at this point in 2016, we'd already lost David Bowie, Alan Rickman. I think we'd lost Lemmy at this point as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we lost Lemmy as well, didn't we?
Yeah, 2016 was just like, yeah, I'm taking all you motherfuckers with me.
It was, yeah.
It was the 1968 of the 21st century, as discussed from another podcast.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It was almost like the Rapture, wasn't it? We were the bad people left on this earth.
Well, that checks out, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going through the news now. Guys, all about Russians. Something's happened with the Russians. A Russian was killed. Is that right?
No, there was a Russian spy who kind of went a bit turncoat. Was poisoned, and his daughter was poisoned with nerve toxin on a park bench somewhere in the UK. And obviously, the UK are apparently a bit miffed about this, saying, I'd say I'd rather you didn't go around poisoning people living here. To which the Russians have said, you can't prove it was us. To which their response is, it's Russian nerve toxin. Either you did it, or someone has gotten your shit. You're either complicit, or you're incompetent. Which one is it?
Yeah, and they're going to weigh that up, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, what do we do? Are we stupid, or did we do it? And so it's either they're the stupid people or the bad people. And I reckon Russia are going to go for the bad people.
Well, I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I pretty much get they have form in this regard.
Mm.
There was that what was it, about 10 years ago? There was that other spy who was injected with polonium, I think it was.
That's
some
right,
radioactive material. And yeah, again, have form. So it's Comrade Putin of the formerly of the KGB, who has been the president of Russia. Well, he's been in charge of Russia for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
He was the president for 8, then he took a little 4-year sabbatical where he decided to try driving from the back seat before he decided, no, I prefer to be up front, and became president again.
I love that. I love the way that he just feels like that. And he's like, yeah, do you know what? I'm taking the wheel.
Well, it's nothing like that at all. It's like, yes, we're a democracy. We are one man, one vote. I am man, I get vote.
Yeah. What else was I going to go through? I'm going through the news now. See, you can tell this.
Oh, you shouldn't do that. It's depressing.
Well, okay, yeah, that is. I don't know if I've said this. I think I said it on the other podcast, but I've just removed all of the apps, the news apps, off my phone.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It was a really good idea because it's so simplistic now. If news happens, I get it through either Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. If it's important to me, it's said by
carrier pigeons. Yeah.
Yeah, it's said by the important people in my life.
Yes.
And I get it that way. And instead of, I don't like this when the news pops up, then everyone tries to be the first. Because you're not the first, you're about 1 million down the line anyway, already. And so I'm just...
that's a whole rant there about the 24-hour news media, which I'm not going to get into right now, but that's an entire episode on its own.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. Well, we can get into it now. We've got time-ish.
We've got time-ish, but that's I need a good head of steam. It's bringing down civilization, but I feel that's a separate episode in and of itself. Yeah. Go back to the good old days. I want my news in the morning with my tea, at lunchtime, early evening, and at tea time. That's it.
Yeah,
it's not too much to ask, is it?
No. I think that's absolutely fine. I don't even roll like that anymore. I don't watch news on the TV. The only time I will watch news is if I've seen something on a feed somewhere and I'm directed that way. I won't sit down for the morning news or the evening news or the late at night news anymore. It's too depressing.
Oh yeah, no, totally, and I likewise avoid it. Yeah. But I think a reason why it's so depressing is because of that whole 24-hour cycle. But I'm not getting into that because there's much more important thing we need to discuss as well.
What's that?
Well, today is March 14th.
Yes.
Today is Pi Day.
It certainly is. Only in America, though.
Only in America where they do the dates wrong.
Yeah.
But, we don't really get the 14th month, unfortunately. So we have to make do with pretending we're Americans. So with today being Pi Day, Elton, what is the best pie?
What is the best pie? Now, are we talking desserts or are we talking sweet or savoury, by the way?
The question exists as was stated.
What is the best pie? Okay. I think... Okay. No. Because I've had pies where they're not real pies, and they've been lovely. When you go into a village, somewhere in England, you'll find a little pub where they do pies, and they'll do like this meat dish and put a pastry lid on it. And that is their pie. But that's not really a pie because the pie, it has to have a crust around the bottom, doesn't it?
Is that what the Americans refer to as a pot pie?
Possibly.
I don't know. I'll have to ask some Americans. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say...
Or look on the internet because,
The best pie would be like a meat filling. It's definitely going to be a meat filling of some description. I quite like the chicken and mushroom. See, Lee Harvey's going to kick off later when he hears this because he wanted to do an episode on pies. But tough.
It's Pie Day. It's Pie Day, and you're not here, so
yeah, exactly.
Yabu sucks to you.
I would go for a chicken and mushroom one.
No, okay.
But I'm always up to persuasion.
No, chicken and mushroom is a very good choice. I mean, I'm always partial to a nice steak pie.
Yep.
With the gravy and everything. I think that's nice. I have just looked it up, actually. Yeah, a pot pie is a pie with just the top crust. So typically made in a pot, which explains that. But yeah, I do like a nice steak pie. Not averse to steak and kidney, but I prefer just steak with the gravy.
I like the kidney though, man. I like the kidneys.
I'm always worried they're going to taste vaguely of urine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because
can I tell you my worst pie eating that I've had? And it was recently as well, because I went to a football match with, it was New Year's Day, actually, this year. Okay. And at halftime, we got pies. Well, I got a pie anyway, and hot dogs, etc. And the pie is a weird thing to eat at a football match because you can't put it on a plate because you sat down in this really cramped environment. And you're not going to take a knife and fork to a football match because
I think the police might have a few things to say about that.
They might do, yes. You might get kicked out for that. Unless you got like a salt and pepper shaker with you as well. But that ain't going to happen. So you end up with this gangster's pie in a wrapper. And you got to open that. And then it's in the foil, which is burning hot anyway. So then you try to eat that. And there's just no dignified way of eating that. It's very caveman-esque, the way that you eat it. And also, the interior of that thing is hotter than the surface of the sun. And with that being so hot, you try and eat it, and you end up burning your mouth. And it once you've burnt your tongue and burnt the inside of you can't taste anything. And so you're just going through the motions of eating this thing that you can't taste. And it's the least rewarding act ever. It's weird. It's very, very weird. But there's hundreds of people doing exactly the same thing. They're all burning their mouths, they're all burning their tongues, and they can't taste a damn thing.
I think you started going wrong by going out on New Year's Day. compounded the mistake by going to a football match on New Year's Day.
Right.
And then it just went downhill from there.
Why? Okay. Why don't you go to football matches?
Because I find it boring.
Why? Why do you find this boring?
Football boring?
Yeah.
I suppose part of it's going to come from a lack of understanding.
Right.
Part of it's going to come from, I'm generally a bit of an introverted person, so I don't really want to be in a large crowded stadium full of people. I know I go to conventions, but that's, once in a blue moon sort of thing, and slightly different because, playing dress up and stuff. But also it's that whole, and I know this is probably just my ignorance talking here, that sense that, if you sneeze on them the wrong way, they suddenly reach for their faces and fall on the floor crying, going, oh no. It's just, he kicks the ball, he kicks it to the other person, who kicks it to the other person, who kicks it back to the other person, who kicks it, it's gone over there, and he throws it in, and he kicks it to another person, and he kicks it to another person, and that's the end of the game, 0-0.
Right. Yeah, well, obviously I understand that. I know. Some people struggle because it can be just as nerdy. Because people remember stats and players and scores, etc., on a level of the nerdiest of nerdy people, and yet they somehow see themselves as not nerdy because it's very laddish, isn't it?
It is. It's like socially acceptable cosplay, turning up with the old team jumpers on and so forth.
Jumpers.
Yes, go team. Yay, sports ball. But I was going to say, I could talk. Let's face it, Formula One doesn't exactly set the world alight half the time.
No, that's true. That's true.
I will happily sit and watch, as long as it's not a Monaco, sit and watch 2 hours of cars going around really fast.
Yeah.
But I feel we're straying from the important topic of pies.
Sorry, yes.
Because it's Pie Day, and now that you mentioned that Lee Harvey wants to do this, I do feel inclined to milk this for all it's worth.
No, go for it, mate. Go for it.
I suppose, you see, in that sort of a situation, I'd have to take a leap from the book of the good Reverend Peter Organ. Pork pies.
Pork pie, okay.
That's the kind of pie you eat at a football stadium. It's nice and easy to eat. It's not hot. It's convenient.
Right. But I don't think the average football fan is there to... I don't think they'll be seen dead eating a pork pie.
Well, surely it depends on how far north you are, isn't it?
But still, at a football match, I don't think the pork pie suits the environment that you're placing it in.
I wouldn't know. I've never been to a football match.
A pork pie is best served in a nice grassy field with children playing on in the background, maybe even kids playing football in the background, as a picnic, as a side complement to other things that you've laid out. I don't think it's a meal in itself.
No, it's not. It's not a meal. It's a snack. But I feel again isn't that what you want at these football matches?
Yeah, but I ate the hot pie to keep me warm as well.
Well, again, this comes back to why were you there on New Year's Day? You fool! Yes. You're supposed to be at home nursing the hangover from the terrible New Year's Eve party you went to because for some reason society dictates you get blind drunk on New Year's Eve.
No, I haven't done that for years, man.
Yeah, I know. I think you have a get-out clause once you have kids.
Yeah, I haven't done that for years. And I love every minute of not doing it as well.
Yeah.
So the pork pie. No, I think you're wrong. See, I think I asked a question maybe a year or so ago. Why can you serve a pork pie hot? And I don't think it suits it, does it?
No, I'd never have a pork pie hot. It's madness, sir.
That's what I thought. So,
yeah, you have them cold. Either the small ones, which you can eat whole, or the larger ones, which you cut into slices.
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen with a big gang of footballers. You imagine them just slicing that. Once again, they have a knife on them.
Yeah, I'm beginning to see where this is falling down.
Oh, break us off a bit. No.
I was going to say, it seems like a perfect ad here for gangsters or whatever to kind of do one of those like Coke-like adverts, bringing the world together through the power of pies.
Yeah.
What about dessert pies then? What are your go-to dessert pies?
See, I don't do desserts when I go out.
What, any desserts?
Any desserts at all. I don't like ice cream. I don't like jelly. So they're straight off. And I don't like the chocolate puds things. I had a very bad experience as a kid. We had Mississippi mud pie from a Toby Carvery, I think it was. Or there was a Toby down in Crooklog in Welling somewhere. And they did a Mississippi mud pie in there. And it was so rich. I couldn't eat it as a kid and ended up throwing it up when I got home. And ever since then, it's just been, do you know what? No, I'll forego the dessert. And everyone looks at me going, what are you doing? Nah, I'd rather have a biscuit when I get home. Because it's safe. And yeah, I just don't want to go through all that. And it's just not for me.
Fair enough. I'm not really one for pies for dessert. I mean, Mr. Kipling does do a nice apple pie. I will say that much.
Warm apple pie.
Well, again, I typically have the Mr. Kipling ones cold.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to judge, And I know that the McDonald's pies are typically set, I believe you mentioned before, at a temperature somewhat akin to the surface of the sun.
Yes. Yeah, never had one of them. They look weird. They look like they're encrusted in something.
Yeah, ignorance is definitely bliss when it comes to McDonald's and most fast foods, I think.
Yeah. When was the last time you had a McDonald's?
Long enough ago that I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm getting to that period as well. I think it was... Oh, hang on. I think we're talking about 6 years ago now.
No, it wasn't that long, but yeah, it was definitely sometime last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I definitely trump you on that one.
Oh, yeah. When was the last time you had gravy on your chips at KFC?
No, I don't want to start another flame war. I think I may have...
The North remembers, mate.
It does, remembers. Yeah. I poked the bear on that one. And that was not well received, and so I'm gonna step away from that one.
That's probably a safe bet, yeah.
Although, no, I'm stepping away from that one.
Yes.
Clearly.
Oh,
yes. Man. So
walk it back.
Did we get down to your favourite pie then? On the dessert side.
Well, like I said, I'm not really one for dessert pies, but like I said, I don't mind Mr. Kipling's apple pies, which again, as I've said, are served cold. I don't like hot apple pie,
right?
Because again, it's a weird thing for me. I don't think fruit's meant to be warm.
No, apples and bananas warm. That's weird.
Yeah, it's no fruit is served chilled, or at room temperature at the most.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I've seen people cook bananas on the barbecue as well, though. But, no, I wouldn't do that. That's... Oh, hang on. I think we've got about 30 seconds now.
Oh, dear.
Yes, so is there any other weirdness that you'd like to bring to the table before... Oh, I've just turned it off.
You've stopped the alarm. Oh, well, we know we've got to stop it. I can't think of any weirdness off the top of my head. Yeah, sorry to see Stephen Hawking go, but let's face it, the way things are going, maybe he's made the right choice. Maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah, you get the feeling he might do, mightn't he?
Yes. Again, what's the guy from Bullseye's name? It's Jim
Bowen.
There you go. Jim Bowen has also moved along. Perhaps somewhat less lamented, but I'm sure still missed by those who remember him fondly. So
yeah,
it's very sad also.
Oh, okay, right. I know we shouldn't do this, but I'm just seeing a story. Scientists discover that all galaxies rotate like clockwork. I thought it was clockwise. Like clockwork. What does that mean then?
Well, I guess with regularity.
Yeah.
No, it was a thing. Do you remember SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence?
Yeah.
Now, do you remember back probably about 10, 15 years ago, you could download a screensaver in effect, but what it would do is it would scan through SETI signals, seeing if it could find any evidence of aliens and stuff.
Yeah,
and the idea was
PlayStation 3 do that.
I think so as well. But the idea was, all these computers doing research and processing the data would be far quicker than, doing it at a single place. But there was another one they did, and what it was is they wanted people to look at galaxies and basically if they were rotating clockwise or anti-clockwise to see if there was some sort of correlation. I don't know what the results were. I just remember seeing it.
Right.
But, yes. So there you go.
I thought they were going to say clockwise, and I was thinking, okay, well, everything's spinning though, isn't it? Surely everything's spinning.
I guess
that's the way I see it. It's very, very Stephen Hawking-esque, but that's the way I see it. If you go down to the smallest, like an electron going around a neutron, it orbits it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Then you come out one stage, and then you got planets going around the sun. And then you got the suns going around the galaxy. And then you got galaxies going around other galaxies, etc. All spiraling.
You see, we're back here. I feel this again. This is a conversation which we should be having while stoned.
But
you ever think about it? That atoms orbiting the thing, like the sun and the planets.
But it is though, isn't it?
Mind blown.
All right, then let's leave it there then.
It always reminds me of that. It's a famous George Lucas quote going on about how it's like symmetry. It rhymes.
Oh Jesus. Okay, right.
So there you go. There's a good jumping off point.
Yeah. Okay. Let's leave it there. Thank you for letting us waste an hour of your time. Where can people find you on other podcasts, mate?
Oh, I'm usually in the cupboard behind your desk. It's RogueTwoMedia. I'm there. All my stuff is there now.
Top man. Yes. And please check out the Black Dog Podcast as well, blackdogpodcast.com. Check out Hypnogoria as well and all that wonderful stuff that Jim puts out. Daddy Davies. BOrgcast, yes. It's all in the show notes. Everything that I like is in the show notes. I know there's a million other stuff. Maybe I should go through my podcast list and let everyone know what I listen to. God knows.
Maybe that is an episode of the Shonky Lab at some point.
What, podcasts?
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's a bit Inception, isn't it? It's a podcast about podcasts.
Yeah. It is getting down to that, yes. So, yeah, please pop along to these fine other establishments of podcast creating wonder. And I'm sure you'll find a world of entertainment out there. So thank you very much for joining me, Andy, on this one.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Good man. And we'll catch you next time. So please leave quietly. This is a residential area.